Good morning and welcome to the Franchise Minute. I'm Anna Wiles, the franchise economist. Welcome. And today we have a very special guest, Cameron Ferguson with Body Fit Training. Welcome, Cameron. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Anna. Pleasure to be with you. Appreciate the invite. And I've been looking at this for quite some time. So thanks for having us.
I'm so glad to have you. And Cameron, Body Fit Training is part of the exponential family of fitness brands. Well, to start off, to let the audience know, today's topic is fitness is not a fad. So I knew exactly who I wanted to have on for that topic, and that is you, Cameron, with Body Fit Training, and also because you represent Exponential Fitness. So start us off. Tell us a little bit about you and how you ended up at Exponential Fitness.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. And that's one of my favorite topics, by the way, because it's a logical topic. But my career has really culminated into really qualifying me to be in franchising and be able to speak to candidates and represent brands, because I started a long time ago, right out of college, in a workforce management job with ADP. And we worked with a lot of franchises like McDonald's, Subway, Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, to really help build their teams, get them set up on payroll, track their labor, W-2s, I-9s, all of that. And then got into real estate, started a commercial real estate firm with a partner, and we started representing Subway and smaller franchises with their real estate needs. And then got into risk management with an employee-owned business insurance firm that helped a lot of small businesses and small franchise retail locations with their risk mitigation, property, general liability, workers' compensation, so they didn't have to use insurance. And then I was recruited by a friend of mine I went to church with into Driven Brands, which is an automotive franchise holding company. And that was an amazing experience, having 50-year-old brands and learning a lot more about the FDDs and working with investors and getting an automotive shop established. And then, thank goodness, was welcomed into the Exponential Fitness family and the whole world of fitness and wellness, which has been my favorite by far, because customers love it, the employees are driven by it, and you're giving back to that community, and it changes people's lives, which has been amazing to be a part of.
It really is, Cameron, and I didn't realize all that detail about your background. So even though we've known each other for many years, that's so interesting. I mean, I knew you back when you were with Driven Brands. Perfect. All right. So now tell us about Body Fit Training, and also, this will be a loaded question, and also Exponential Fitness.
Yeah, so I'll start kind of high level and drill into BFT a little bit, but Exponential Fitness, which I'm an employee of, we are now an 11 brand franchisor in the health and wellness space. We're headquartered in Irvine, California. We've got 300 employees, which has grown over the years. And, we're publicly traded. We went public in 2021. But, we are owners of the brands. We support the learning process, the franchisees. And then once they open, we help them drive support and performance ongoing. Our brands are in 23 different countries, and we just celebrated studio number 3,000 2 weeks ago.
That's fantastic. That is amazing. And not only are y'all a leader and really bright star in franchising, you are in not just the franchise industry, which is absolutely massive, but also within the fitness industry, which also is absolutely massive.
It is. And our founder, Anthony Geisler, has been in boutique fitness since the late 90s, when he built a concept called LA Boxing Club from just one location. Ended up working with UFC gyms to take on that brand and buy it from him. And that allowed him to pursue the space of Pilates as something that's got a lot of history behind it. It's amazing for types of bodies. And then we bought Club Pilates from the founder in 2015 and built that brand from 24 locations to today over 900 locations.
That is so amazing. And it's not just once y'all have done this. you did that with Club Pilates, but you've done it with brand after brand after brand. So I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'm going to let you tell the story. So, all right. So it started off with LA Boxing, and then it morphed into a company that Anthony owned outright, right? And then the first brand was Club Pilates.
Right.
And just so the audience knows, Pilates has been around since the beginning of the 20th century. It's well over 100-year-old, so it's not a fad.
Right. Right.
Okay.
And that model really paved the way for the other 10 brands that we've developed. The systems, the processes, the playbook, different modality, just different,
Mhm,
same
mhm.
process, same strategy.
Well, go ahead and tell the audience some of the other modalities that you have. So, of course,
Yeah.
Pilates, and then
So one of the things we look at for a modality is proven history behind it. So Pilates, yoga, my goodness, yoga's been around for hundreds of years. Spinning,
thousands.
yep, thousands, you know, spinning, Olympic sport, collegiate sport, rowing, assisted stretching, which has been servicing pro athletes and collegiate athletes for decades. Strength,
Hmm.
all the even Pure Barre that stems from ballet, right?
Hmm.
We look for a very proven modality first. We don't look at a brand first. We take a higher level business approach so that we know, okay, we don't have to worry about whether or not people are going to do yoga or do Pilates or do strength training. We know they are. We just have to make that program very experiential, results oriented, accessible, affordable, and convenient. Then, people can, it's almost too easy for them not to try it. So we cover really, I feel like we've covered a lot of the fitness modalities, spinning, Pilates, yoga, strength training, rowing, running even. But now we're getting
Boxing, don't forget Rumble.
the sport of boxing peppered into Rumble. But now we're getting into that wellness space as well with Stretch Lab and our 11th brand, Lindora, as well. So that fitness and wellness world is where we live and that we love.
And it's your expertise. And I had a franchise candidate named Mitch, and he would call it rinse and repeat. You just do it over and over and over again. And how I explain to franchise candidates that I work with, Cameron, is a company like Exponential is a portfolio franchise company that you have many sister brands, and you've got the training, the support, the systems, the technology, the marketing know-how, and you just rinse and repeat with the next brand that you bring on and the next brand that you bring on. So tell us about Body Fit Training. What is
Yeah,
it? How does it work?
body fit training, we saw a void in the marketplace. When you look in the marketplace, it does kind of look a little saturated. And a lot of the concepts are cardio based, high intensity interval training,
Right.
there's heart rate, very little true science, data driven, accommodating strength training. Can't just do cardio and not have strength training.
Right,
So
right.
we looked at about a dozen different brands, and we want to see a brand check a lot of boxes for us. Most importantly, does it drive results to the client? Is it simple enough to duplicate in Florida or Texas or California? Does it make good money, produce good margins? Is it simple to staff? What we loved about Body Fit Training that really set it apart, one, it gave us a huge data set. When we acquired the brand, there were already 147 franchise studios open. So that gave us
Wow.
a tremendous amount of data. But there's really 5 distinct factors for Body Fit Training that the market does not do. And this all stems from its founder, who has decades of experience as a personal trainer and a rehabilitation specialist, like training pro athletes, amateurs.
Mhm.
So those 5 really key factors for Body Fit Training that the customer benefits from. One, science-backed movements. No more random movements, no more random class, no more random programming, because we're trying to train across all 3 muscle fiber types, all 3 energy systems, not just high intensity, but medium and low intensity. And then we're training across all 3 planes of movement. Our bodies were meant to move across all day at work, at your desk, driving. So science-backed movements is really important because then you can drive results and deliver results to that client versus random movements that you get in some of those other boot camp type brands.
Right, right.
The second key factor is more acute instruction. If we're doing complex moves that clients have never done before, we need to be right next to them. We can't just have one instructor for a class of 25 people because some of those people have never done those moves before. So we have a tighter ratio of client to instructor in a class. The third factor is the data, tremendous data that we're basically monitoring on a customer's heart rate monitor. We've developed our own heart rate monitor. We mandate that they wear it so that they can adhere to their own program where they're not going too hard or too fast or lifting too much outside of their comfort zone or outside of what their body can handle based on what their journey starts with.
Right.
And the more they follow that program, that data shows on the screens during the class. It gives them data after the class. So they know if they went too hard or didn't go hard enough, and it keeps them safe, but progressing safely so they don't overtrain and overload and injure themselves. And then the last two factors are just unmatched in the industry. There's a huge lack of recovery education in the market. So we spend certain days of the week with clients in BFT studios just focused on recovery. So we work out the body in all these brands, but we don't coach people on recovery. And a lot of people think sitting at home, taking a day off resting is recovering, and that's actually worse for your body.
Right.
So we bring clients back in on non-strength training days. We stretch, we recover, we do light cardio movements to work out that lactic acid and tension that we built up in our body. So we're not sore for 3 days.
Right.
And then the final piece, again, just the average person doesn't realize that about, a lot of your results, 60, 70% of your results are based on what you eat. You can't just work out and expect to get results. So we have a nutrition platform. We do body composition scans. Those scans can show your macros, like your proteins, your carbs, based on your, whether it's weight loss
or cheating. Y'all can find out.
No cheating. That scan will literally produce for each customer how much of what to eat, grocery lists, meal plans, recipes. So the average person doesn't know what to fuel their body with. We can now tell them, and we even have partners that can deliver prepared meals to your door off that body. So
that is fascinating.
Yeah. So BFT, you only need that membership. You don't need a nutritionist, a strength training personal trainer, a cardio brand. It's all in one. But it's really focused on that group strength training experience with science-backed movements, data. And it's been tremendous. Our average visits per week per member is 4 days a week. So it's a very sustainable program.
Wow, that is amazing. That is really amazing. So what would you say is a big preconceived notion that people have when they want to become the owner of a body fit training or really of any exponential brand?
Well, Anna, it's a great question and a very logical question, because there are a lot of fitness concepts that come into the market that, quite frankly, are fads. I just heard about one this week called Boxalates. So it's boxing and Pilates. That's kind of a fad. No disrespect to that brand, but if you're going to do Pilates, stick to the historical program and foundation of Pilates. Don't try to do boxing with Pilates. That's a fad. So we check fad-proof box. So BFT, strength training, has been around for decades and decades. That's what we specialize in BFT.
I do strength training with a personal trainer. I mean, we all need it.
So we're not doing tennis and soccer and chugging smoothies with an infrared sauna and strength. That's a fad. So we can check that box with a lot of that history behind that modality that we specialize in Yoga 6, strength training at BFT, spinning at Cycle Bar. But a lot of people logically think that you need to be a fitness instructor to be a fitness studio franchisee. And that is really not accurate, at least for us, because most of our franchisees, we really don't care if they're fitness gurus or if they're fitness instructors. We more or less want to see more business experience, because if they understand business from a general level, marketing, sales, working with people, we're going to teach them all they need to know on the fitness, the retail side. It's almost, most of our franchisees come from corporate America, and we want to see them be able to make decisions and understand business and a P&L. If they get that, we can give them all they need to know about retail and fitness. If it's a fitness instructor as an owner, that's great. but sometimes they don't know as much about business and it still works, but their learning curve's a little steeper
Right.
than that corporate America executive that can come in, make decisions, understand the processes, the playbooks that are so magical in our culture and helping
Right.
franchisees perform with zero experience in franchising or fitness. They're more or less that CEO over that small business.
Right. They're not teaching classes, standing behind the counter. That's what employees do. But listen, Cameron, we have run out of time. That was a quick interview. Thank you for all the information you shared about both exponential fitness and body fit training. Cameron, if someone wants to learn more about body fit training or exponential, what should they do?
And I would have them contact you because the world of franchising is very complex. It's very complicated. You need an advisor like Anna to guide you through the complexities of it and narrow down to some of those brands that are best fits for you and your family. So I would definitely suggest they lean on an advisor like you, reach out to Anna, get started with that evaluation process the right way.
Okay, well, thank you, Cameron. I appreciate this. This is Cameron Ferguson with Body Fit Training. Thank you so much for being here. It was delightful. And audience, thank you for being here. And come back next week where you're going to learn how a seasonal business becomes a year-round business. Thank you so much. I'm Anna Wilds, the franchise economist. See you next week.